Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich Ireland. Let's continue on from where we last left off. I haven't checked if I haven't uploaded the last video yet, so I don't know if this music has gotten copyrighted. But we'll find out, right? I mean, I know you don't. If you're watching this, you don't give a shit, obviously. Like it doesn't affect you in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, I mean, it's really the only way any of my stuff gets, you know, demonetized. I know a lot of people are worried about like the yellow dollar sign, which basically means like your video's been demonetized. I've never had that problem like ever with Hoi 4, other than copyright stuff. I don't think I've ever had a video be demonetized, which I guess makes me lucky. I don't know if I'm like somehow avoiding all of the demonetization that everyone gets hit with. Maybe I'm just not popular for people to take notice. Who knows? I don't. I'm happy not to get hit with the notices anyway. Anyways, behind the barricades. After a month of widespread violence across the province of Ulster, the implementation of martial law soon got worse. The rioting got the worst of the rioting under control. However, as local rioters were pushed back by what was increasingly perceived as a hostile administration and saw the need to protect their neighborhoods from their denominational enemies, Catholic and Protestant paramilitaries established no-go areas, with barricades blocking off roads and armed men keeping watch for the army and opposing paramilitaries. From the shock caused by the preceding chaos, a reluctance to endorse a violent solution to the issue has set in, as they instead opted to open negotiations with rebelling communities, with force only to be resorted if no other alternatives were to be found. With the blue shirts playing a prominent role in the establishment and protection of the Catholic no-go zone, the Irish government put pressure on O'Duffy, who has long officially denied any connection to the organization, in spite of obvious evidence otherwise, to condemn the incidents and order the blue shirts to lower the barricades. Though O'Duffy complied to avoid the ban of his party, his commands would fall on deaf ears, as AN hardliner Gerald Cunningham, basking in his newfound fame as one of the key leaders of the Catholic protesters, struck back with a roaring speech in Belfast, branding the old general a coward and announcing the formation of his own party, Trini na Hasairga, meaning architect of the resurrection, which would openly advocate for a monarchist, integralist Ireland, worsening the already overwhelming situation, with all eyes focused on the north. ICA agitators have begun to take advantage of the military's distraction, stirring up protests among poor agricultural laborers in Ireland west by exploiting rural grievances which have been building since Black Monday. Although the fighting has come ground to a halt for now, President O'Brien remains under much stress. Totalism is going to go up, more support for national populism, and Northern Ireland gets a little bit more damage. What song is this? The Union State theme, okay. I was going to say, like, this is very, very, like, Texan. I was going to say, it reminds me a lot of Borderlands. It's very, like, I imagine this, like, the song at the beginning of Borderlands. I think it would fit in Borderlands very, very well. Anyways. This is actually, like, a pretty stagnant front right now. Like, there are some, like, this is a weak point for sure. Like, they have 6 divisions here. They put a handful on this line. But for the most part, that line is holding up a-okay. 213 days on this. 9 levels is crazy. Have I not done like anything to deal with Black Monday? So right now we're still at 5 points. We should be fine. Like as long as we like don't do anything stupid. And I don't think we'll do anything stupid. But I'm not gonna say it's impossible. Relief work completed in Northern Ireland. As of this morning, the round of relief works organized by the government in Northern Ireland are deemed to be finished. The works have given much-needed boost to employment and productivity in the area, at a time when, outside of direct government intervention, unemployment and stagnation would be rampant. The president of increased number of workers in the region has aided local economies, with workers in their new wages contributing to the community, and in turn building up the living standards closer to what they were before Black Monday. So does that mean that we're now down to 8? Still under flags of Black Monday. No, now there's 7. So it's gone down by 2 somehow. But we do need 50 political power, which I do not have. Recovering lost ground. With the government pausing to catch its breath following the chaos in Ulster, the negotiations between the ministers and the paramilitaries have not progressed quickly. In turn, officers from the Irish Republican Army have grown increasingly frustrated, and their open skepticism of both the civilian government and of the party politics is becoming starkly apparent. In recent days, the armies have been ratcheting up their presence on the president to bring paramilitary occupied no-go areas back under state control. A particular concern for the army is that both of the blue shirts and the UVF have not only begun to cement their power in the neighborhoods under their control, but have increasingly begun to use these areas as headquarters for terror attacks. In response, an ultimatum from the generals has been issued. Either the government officially sanction a move by the army to restore order immediately, or they will act without the government's consent. As the Irish government issued a final warning to the blue shirts and the UVF to stand down or face arrest, O'Brien asserted in a speech to the Dáil that he would continue to work to find a solution to North's issues that would benefit Catholic and Protestant workers alike, and that the paramilitaries could not just be allowed to disrupt it. In preparation, the military deployed the vast majority of its troops northward, readying themselves for a potential recreation of guerrilla tactics from the War of Independence, as they retook the rebelling streets and deemed the reassertion of its authority in Ulster a higher priority than suppressing any possible syndicalist agitation in the south. Ultimately, the operation was successful, as the Irish forces broke down the barricades and reoccupied the streets under paramilitary control. Though they faced resistance from both loyalists and nationalist extremists, in the end, however, the extremists were either captured for internment in the Courant or fled the area. The reports of soldiers assisting or showing lenience on the blue shirts have become a source of concern for O'Brien's administration. Well, we have gotten a little bit more stability. We're at negative 3%. Which is worse than we were last time. Last time I checked, we were not at -3. You're at +2. But I mean, we're still losing. Actually, we're still losing political power off of this. 0.5? Holy. Okay. What do we have in here? Crew population 20%. Loyalist anger will decrease. That is good. Let's get the NDP a little bit more power. -1 rubber is fine. I don't need to worry. Like, what was it? Is that for trucks? Maybe a plane? It's not really, like, high on my priority list. I can tell you that much. I have more pressing concerns. Political power gain +25. Plus 75 political power to get more points for social liberalism. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we kind of need to work on. Another anniversary has come and gone, with the recent commemoration taking place the 20th year since the passing of John Redmond. It was a muted affair. For many, he is remembered as a man on the wrong side of history, whose actions led to the death of thousands of young Irishmen. For others, a man whose one main mistake came to define his entire political career. Redmond, during his own lifetime, however, was much more than that. As a leader of the Irish Parliamentary Party, he was de facto leader of the Irish nationalism at the beginning of the 1910s. His goal of home rule was on the brink of becoming a reality by Westminster, making a civil war in Ireland between the Ulster Volunteer Force and the Irish Volunteers of the day seem inevitable. The outbreak of the Wilkrieg put an end to both of these certainties, with Redmond making a fateful decision to urge all able-bodied volunteers to enlist in the British war effort, in an attempt to ensure the enactment of home rule after what was sure to be another brief war. He was a man for whom home rule was the end goal, and who would have been content with an autonomous Ireland as the heart of the British Empire. This is when most others, even within the party, sought to step towards greater independence. His legacy is one that is looked upon favorably by those who have had more personal ties with Britain, and a few more moderate Republicans with Entente sympathies. In his native Wexford, where he had been interred, a modest and respectful ceremony took place at his family's mausoleum, with attendees including several NDP politicians and party officials, as well as some Irish veterans of the Wilkrieg. Those present were urged to reconsider his legacy and remember him for the times that he lived in, before the Republic could become a reality. This message, of course, was meant for those not in attendance, but by and large fell on deaf ears. He was a man of his time. Well, the market liberals are in our coalition, so I am A-okay to have them here. More influence. Okay, we have 15 days. Are they should be, yeah, more or less tied. We're happy with this. They each get 5 influence here. That doesn't really matter. 60 days, 80 days. I need political power. So I need to take you, and then I immediately need to take this plus 75 for the voices of rural Ireland. More support for our party, of course. And that 75 political power, we can use that to try to mitigate Black Monday to some extent. How are you guys doing here? It really is just a stalemate, huh? Really, it is just no movement whatsoever. And how are you guys over in Spain? We got an encirclement of CNT forces. That is good. This is completely wide open. I don't think, like, the thing with the Carlists is that I just don't think they have enough troops to win. They don't have enough troops to cover their line. Like, if they start doing well, they overextend themselves to such a great degree that they end up just fucking dying. And that's not helpful. Not helpful to me. Not helpful for them. Not helpful to nobody. Nobody's happy with that arrangement. Okay, Serbia, Macedonia. Good, 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 good. Moment of respite of 7 days is... it's this. Okay, so I'm assuming we're all good. Hey, 50 political power? Excellent. A moment of respite. In the aftermath of the reclamation of the no-go areas, the Irish Republican Army was left to police the north, with 6-county region set to remain under occupation until tensions had died down, and a Northern Garde had been reconstructed after its collapse on sectarian lines. While the military presence has been deemed essential to deal with the continuous threat of radicals, its continuation became increasingly unpopular as the month dragged on. Outrage from loyalists accused the armed forces of bias, had not endured Protestants to their patrols, while pro-integralist blue shirts also announced the army as traitors and attempted to stir up trouble between them and local Catholics. With the government fearing that prolonging the deployment of Irish soldiers could risk once more heating up the anger that they had been worked so hard to cool, the decision was made to bring the period of martial law to an end. Among the military, this move was not received well by the officers, many of whom were dissatisfied with the administration, and some feared the potential were dissatisfied with the administration, and some feared of a potential coup d'etat. Fortunately, in spite of some grumbling, no such event came to pass, with the Garde soon returning to the streets of Ulster as a province seemed to be returning into some form of normalcy, at least in its northern standards. Despite this apparent calm, everyone has taken the point from a crisis. The status quo was untenable, and this peace would not last without serious reforms. Calls for adjustments to the Constitution of 1922 had existed since the North had been reincorporated into the nation, and, in the eyes of reformers, the Ulster privileges problem were the result of government awkwardly wielding the reunified province onto an existing state. After so much upheaval, the cabinet had come to agree. Not only would the reforms to the situation of Catholics be necessary to unify the Irish people, but additionally should rethink how the Irish Republic was to be structured, taking the wishes of all sections of the country into account. The country has withstood its crisis, and the country will remain independent. Excellent. I then want to... Munster, congratulations. You're allowed to have a job. Voice of Rural Ireland, that's going to allow us to go for... Well, let's take 77 days. Can I even get to it? Wait, okay, so you're 80, right? 80 plus 8... I think we're 1 day off. That seems kind of bad. That doesn't seem good. But we can take these two for sure. Mending a divide. Since the fateful election 1 year ago saw Sinn Féin and its successors swept away by voters in favor of a new era of social democratic politics, Labour has done its utmost to improve the lot of the Irish worker, without succumbing to the extremism of the syndicalist experiment of Ireland's West. While the going may have been tough, Labour has successfully managed to overcome the trials and tribulations they had faced, and with the preceding chaos, sent a shock through all sections of Irish society. Negotiations between businessmen and trade unions on preventing religious discrimination have started to bear fruit, as many have agreed to address the issue of hiring and promotions. Giving Labour some breathing room, the Catholic protesters, which have also been a formidable force the past months, have also been hampered by their divisions, split between Helle's moderates, AN's remaining stalwarts, and extreme supporters of ANA. ANA, we'll call them that. Labour's efforts to tackle the latter two organizations have begun to look on appreciably by the Protestant working class, slowly coming around to the fact that Labour is interested in looking out for their rights too. Though Labour's dream of united workers along both sides of the divide against their real foes, the boss were derived not only by the opposition, but the people they sought to appeal to as naive. In time, they shall prove the naysayers wrong. 50 political power, 10% stability, 10% more support for social democracy. The current Labour NDP CANT coalition is secure in its rule for the foreseeable future. We'll take you next. One civilian factory is quite nice. You'll be done in 35 days. Gives us the political power that we need. And unfortunately, we can't do two of these at the same time. So I'm pretty sure I've screwed myself over, which is a little sad. Can I build some cavalry as well? Let's go like 2 cavalry for the moment. That seems fine. I think like this is a mountain, right? And hills. Yeah, the Carls are getting pushed back. Like, again, a CNT victory is, I think, just, like, inevitable. I don't know how you stop them. At least with, I mean, as Ireland, I can't do too much. I don't have, like, a big air force to send over. I don't have that many troops I could send over. I'm really just kind of hanging out in my own little part of the world. You know, what do you want me to do? Okay, total artillery. We're slowly building those up as well, because you're just like 18 combat with divisions, right? Yeah, with no support companies whatsoever. It would be nice to have some troops with you. Okay, Independence Day. I think this is the same event we get every year, so we're not going to read it. Reichspacks, we need 40, so we'll get this in a few days. We are taking, whoops, we're only getting 0.27 political power per day, which is not good. I think we are literally like 1 day off. How depressing for me. Okay, computing machine's done. You know, radar detection might actually be good for us. Build 1 or 2 of them in Ireland. It helps us maybe do a naval invasion of England. It allows the Germans to have some sort... Oh, anything else on as well. To have some knowledge about what the British Navy is doing. And, you know, of course, our air forces will be doing better as well. Political power gain plus 0.5. 100 political power. Removes tenuous coalition. Coalition members will only grant 75 political power they would otherwise provide. Okay, let's consolidate the coalition. Maybe I should have done this forever ago. We're good. We're good. Like, look how popular we are. What is this? 50, 60, 67%? People love us, man. The Dutch hate themselves, though. Okay, so they've joined the Internationale. Not great, because the Netherlands being socialist is really bad for the Germans. Just typically, it allows the British or the French to deploy a lot of troops in the region. Okay, war in Central America. At least they don't have the Swiss. Like, usually, I always find, like, if the Dutch and the Swiss join, especially if you want to throw the Belgian there as well, like, Germany just really can't deal with it. I think they could be okay, though. Also, who's angry with us? The Loyalist or the Nationalist? I think the Loyalist. Or the Nationalist, I should say. No matter the political or economic climate of the nation, people will rarely pass up an opportunity to celebrate their heritage, and Ireland is no exception to this. Throughout the country, many have made the journey to silence in Co Kildare to take part in the annual Wolftown commemoration of Bodenstown Graveyard. Happens on Sunday. Being regarded as the father of Irish republicanism, it's no surprise to see a sea of Irish flags waved by processioners. But less informed observers may be surprised to see them waving side by side with the tricolors of France. If there's one nation that Ireland has been able to continually count on throughout history to come to its aid, it has been France. United initially by faith, the French sent soldiers to help Irish Catholics in their fight against William Orange in an attempt to establish an independent Ireland, albeit one still ruled by a British king. This, it was the French Revolution that France's relation with Ireland moved beyond faith. And so 140 years ago, they would be sent brave men to fight along Wolftown, irrespective of him being a Protestant rather than a Catholic. This event made the year 1798 become known to Ireland as Battle de Beaufort, the year of the French, and has permanently defined Ireland's relation with France to this day. This unbreakable bond between the two nations is why these processioners have chosen to wave the simple neutral tricolor of the French people, not any of the ideological defecations that have arisen over the past few decades. Having survived years of turmoil and suffering, the people of Ireland know the pain that is to be inflicted upon France, and their hearts yearn in hopes that one day, too, can be united and prosper once again. Of course, we want the Nationalist. Boom, 2.5% stability. Happy to see it. And aside from that, radio propaganda, a little bit more war support. I don't think we need it. 21 days. Yeah, we're like 1 day off. Which is so sad. What if we fail this? Negative 10% stability. Negative 50 political power. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing ever. Okay, let's go construction next. Because, like, do any of you deal with Black Monday? Some of these up here. These are all, obviously, different ideologies. We can't deal with that. I think I basically have done everything I can. Modify Black Monday. And we can't do this anymore because the gateway is no longer happening. Okay. Then we can do some ancestral ties afterwards as well. Because me and America, we're like this. We're close, we love each other, and we're all happy. And you know who else is happy? Me. Because this is going to be a good time to end this episode. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoyed, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.